Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start the next unit, that is Kai's vision of Pakistan. The word vision is a noun and the meaning is perception. It was basically the perception, the vision of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah to have a separate nation, to have a separate country for the people. This lesson is basically the address of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah to the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly means the assembly which is going to make the law, which is going to make the constitution of Pakistan. Notice here that we are using the article, definite article with the word constituent. The Constituent Assembly. The word assembly is a noun and this constituent is an adjective. Always, that is the reason that we always use article the, this definite article with adjective that is going to explain the noun. So the constituent is an adjective here and we are using article the here. The Constituent Assembly. Constituent means the assembly which is going to make the constitution and law for Pakistan. So let's start the lesson. Let's start the reading. Muhammad Ali Jinnah's 11th August speech is one of the most famous speeches made by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founding leader of Pakistan, and known as the Quaid-e-Azam, great leader. First of all, let me make it one thing clear here. The Quaid-e-Azam. If I ask that why are we using again article the here with Quaid-e-Azam? What is the reason? Why are we using the founding leader? What can be the reason? The founding leader. And let me make it clear that always you use this article with the title. The Quaid-e-Azam. Quaid-e-Azam means the great leader. Quaid-e-Azam is an adjective. Again, I repeat, we always use the with the adjectives. If I say the Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the Usman, it will be wrong because we cannot use the with a proper noun. So this is proper noun and this is the title for Muhammad Ali Jinnah, for this proper noun. And I repeat, we are not using the with the proper noun. We always used with the title that is used with this noun, with the proper noun. So that is the reason that always you will be using the with Quaid-e-Azam. For example, the Quaid-e-Azam, the great leader, the founding leader, not the Muhammad Ali, the Usman. So this is important and grammatically important information. So for your question, that is correction of error is concerned. So moving ahead, these lines say that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is also known as the great leader, as the founder of Pakistan. Today there is hardly a more contentious issue. The word contentious. Contentious means significant, important. This contentious is an adjective, Today, there is hardly a more contentious issue in Pakistan than the issue of Jinnah's vision. It means that after being so many years, still we don't find any important contentious issue than the issue or that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah raised at that time. What was that issue? That Hindu and Muslims are two different nations. They must have a separate country. So moving ahead, that is the reason that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was widely known as a competent barrister who had once championed the cause of Hindu-Muslim unity. A competent, the word competent means capable. Qaid-e-Azam, when Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah raised that Hindus and Muslims are two different nations, then he was considered a competent barrister, a capable man who has the power, the strength to speak for his nation, to talk about his nation, about the independence of his nation. So, moving ahead, next paragraph. When the partition of India finally occurred, partition, again partition is noun. Partition means separation of both the countries. Jinnah, soon to be Governor General of the Dominion of Pakistan. Dominion means the area. When Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah talked about the partition of Pakistan, then he was the first Governor General of Pakistan. So for your MCQs are concerned, you have to underline the word a more contentious issue. Underline dash issue, contentious issue. And you are supposed to underline as a competent barrister. Which barrister? Competent barrister. So these are important for your MCQs. And moving ahead to the next line, Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah delivered this address to the Constituent Assembly on August 1947, and he spoke of an inclusive and impartial government. What is inclusive? Inclusive means, as the word you can say, inclusive. Inclusive is an adjective. Inclusive means the speech, the address that includes everything. Means Qaid-e-Azam's speech is perfect one, is the complete one. Complete and inclusive with respect to every aspect that Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah talks about the rights of every person equally. That is why we use this word inclusive for the speech, for the address that Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah delivered. So you are supposed to underline this in the word inclusive as well. And an inclusive and impartial government. What does it mean, the word impartial? Impartial means that you are not biased, unbiased, or not favoring someone or some religion or some people. This is being impartial. So Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted to develop a government that was impartial, that was unbiased. So there is a first question in these two paragraphs, that when and where did Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah deliver his speech? So your answer is that Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah delivered his speech to the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan on August 11, 1947 in Karachi. And this was the most famous speech, and Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah raised the most contentious issue of having two separate nations. Then he talked about the Indian Muslim nationalism, that India and Muslims are two different nations, two separate nations. They must have a separate country in which they can live freely, independently as they want to. So your first question is having these important points that you are supposed to note them down, that on 11th August 1947, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah delivered his speech and talked about these important issues. So, moving ahead, now the speech starts. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, I cordially thank you with utmost sincerity for the honor you have given me. Cordially, the word cordially means warmly. Here, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is thankful to all the people who were listening to him, who supported him, who guided him. Then he says, I also thank those leaders who have spoken in appreciation of my services. Underline the word appreciation. Here, grammatically, if I ask, who have spoken in appreciation? The leaders who have spoken in appreciation. If we underline who have spoken in appreciation, what kind of clause would it be? Noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause, or whatever. What kind of? What is who here? Who is a relative pronoun, and you can observe that who is explaining the noun, the leaders. So the leaders who have spoken in appreciation. Who have spoken? The leaders. So this relative pronoun is talking about the leaders. So it is called adjective clause or the relative clause. Understood? So Quaid-e-Azam is thankful to the people who supported him. Next paragraph. The first is the Constituent Assembly has got two main functions to perform. Now we are going to discuss the two main functions that the Constituent Assembly has. Number one, the paragraph starts. The first is the very onerous and responsible task. What does the word onerous means? Onerous means very much difficult, very much important, you can say. A hard task. It was really a hard task. What hard task? The first. Why are we using the first? And why don't we use the one, the two? I have already explained you that the first, the second, the third, these are called ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers. And we always use definite article with the ordinal numbers. And 1, 2, 3, we call them cardinal numbers. And we do not use article with cardinal numbers. Rather, we use always the with ordinal numbers. The first, again, he says, the first is a very onerous and responsible task of forming the future constitution of Pakistan. The first function is to form, to make the future constitution of Pakistan. And the second task is, and the second function is to have a full and complete sovereign body as the federal legislature of Pakistan. What does the word sovereign means? Sovereign basically is an adjective and it means to have the supreme quality. Sovereign means having supreme power, having supreme quality, complete, permanent. So the second function was to make the sovereign sovereign body is the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. So let me explain. The first function was to make the future constitution of Pakistan. Means obviously that was a very critical time and it was necessary to make a new law. Constitution is the law. A new law, new constitution for Pakistan. And secondly, to make federal legislature means, what is legislature? Legislature basically is a noun and it means the body of people, the parliament that is going to make a complete, a supreme constitution for Pakistan. And this was the first function, to have a separate, a complete constitution, and that constitution must be supreme in nature, supreme in power, complete in nature. According to this Federal Legislature Constitution of Pakistan, everybody living in Pakistan would have a complete freedom. Whether he belongs to any religion, whether he is a Hindu, Sikh or Pakistani, he will be enjoying equal rights according to this complete and supreme constitution. So this is your second question, that what were the two important functions that this Constituent Assembly discussed. So this was the first function and this was the second function. Then we can adopt a provisional constitution for the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. What is Qaid-e-Azam says that before we make this law, we need to have a provisional constitution for the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. What is provisional constitution? Then Qaid-e-Azam says we have to do the best that we can have a provisional constitution for the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. What is provisional constitution? Provisional constitution means temporary constitution. Temporary constitution. Obviously, at that critical time, it was very difficult to make at once the new law, new constitution. So Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah emphasized to have a temporary constitution first, that is obviously going to be permanent one later on. That we call the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. That would be permanent. That would have a supreme quality, being the quality of permanent one. So this provisional means that first of all we need to have the temporary law, temporary constitution, and later on obviously that is going to be permanent. That would be called the Federal Legislature of Pakistan. Then he says that really that not only we ourselves are wondering, but I think the whole world is wondering at this unprecedented cyclonic, underline the word for MCQs and for your vocabulary as well, unprecedented cyclonic revolution, which has brought about in the subcontinent. What does the word unprecedented means? Unprecedented is adjective that means that has no parallelism. Means the government that Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah wants to develop, the constitution that Qaid-e-Azam wants to make is unprecedented. It's having no parallel to anything that was complete, that was permanent. And cyclonic is again an adjective. Cyclonic revolution means again that we do not find in the history, if not only Pakistanis, Muslims, but everyone was wondering that how can a nation be separated so quickly and so efficiently. So for MCQs, we would underline that this unprecedented and cyclonic revolution. Revolution is noun. Revolution means the change that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah brought in the form of two different nations. So moving ahead, the first, Quaid-e-Azam says, the first and the foremost thing that I would like to emphasize is that you have to remember that you are now a sovereign legislative body and you have got all the powers. So again, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is stressing, is emphasizing that we are having this separate legislative body, this constitution, and everybody is supposed to follow this constitution, and according to this constitution everyone will be enjoying equal rights, will be following the law and order. It therefore places on you the gravest responsibility. The word gravest means serious responsibility as to how you should take your decisions. The first observation that I would like to make is this: you will no doubt agree with me that the first duty of government is to maintain law and order in the country, and so that the life, then he says, the life, property and religious beliefs of people in the country must be properly protected. So here is a question that what did he say about the function of assembly? This is, I guess, your third question. What did he say about the function of assembly? So Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is emphasizing that this is the serious, gravest responsibility and function of Constituent Assembly to maintain law and order in the country, that everybody is supposed to follow this law, this constitution, and according to this constitution the life, the property and religious beliefs of people will be protected by the state, by the government, and the state has nothing to do with the religious beliefs of people. Religious beliefs are basically linked, are associated with the personal beliefs, personal faith of man, and state has nothing to do with the personal faith of man. What is the responsibility and function of the assembly and the state? To maintain law and order and to protect the life, property and religious beliefs of people, where everyone can enjoy equal rights. So this was the function that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah talked about, emphasized of the assembly, that the assembly has to maintain.